Hello, it is Dr. Chris Raquel, and I am back again for another video for today. I hope you all are doing amazingly. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also send me an email at askcrystalraquel@gmail.com if you have any questions that you would love to see me answer on video. So I know a lot of you are following me for different reasons. Some of you are following me related to content specific to your Christian walk. Others started following me for things related to relationships. And most recently, since I've been posting a lot of food, I know I've been getting subscribers for my food that I've been posting. So this topic is more of a relationship video. It could also be related to those of you who are Christian. This topic is for ladies specifically. I can apply to men too, so stick around if you would like. This is related to dating and how some people end up being in a situation that is not going to serve them. There's often times where we find that people are in a relationship, time has passed, and now the lady decides that she has to bring up marriage. And then things get a little bit tricky, a little bit sticky, because the man might say he's not ready, he'll be ready soon in the future, and then it's kind of hard for the lady to navigate that situation because they never really had the beginning, that conversation from the beginning. So my point with this video is to say, please, when you're interested in having a relationship and you know that you would eventually like to be married, it does not matter if at this present time you are not looking to be married, like in the next 6 months, year, or even in the next 2 years. Please, if you are interested in being in a relationship and eventually have it lead to marriage, you must make sure you are speaking with an individual who is intentional about what they want. Ladies, please don't let the desperation of wanting to have a relationship cause you to accept any type of situation or relationship that a man is offering you. Please do not let your loneliness, you're never lonely when you know that you have God, right? Please do not allow your loneliness to allow you to just enter into a relationship with someone because you want affection. A lot of times people are wasting their time, especially ladies. You're wasting your years, you're just putting yourself in bad situations, bringing trials into your life, causing distractions in your life, because you are entering into relationships that aren't good for you and aren't going to help you, and it's going to make you bitter, it's going to make you unhappy, it's going to make it even harder for you to find the right person for your life. So you need to avoid situations that are not going to serve you. There are people who their lives are better by them, waiting to even date and then eventually meeting the right person for their life and then marrying that person without having even dated other people before. They can go into that situation without any bitterness. They'll enter into it without any past hurts from other relationships. So you don't want any relationship. You want the right relationship for yourself. And of course, there are people who they enter into relationships and it doesn't work out. That can happen as well. But there's a lot of times where ladies are entering into relationships that could have been avoided completely by just having a simple conversation or just taking a moment to vet that man a little bit better. And so ladies, here's an example what you would want to do. Let's say you meet somebody, or let's say a man approaches you, because yes, you're not approaching a man, okay? You're not the pursuer, the man is the pursuer. You're not going around when you see a man out and about, hey, how you doing? You look cute. I just wanted to ask you, are you single? Absolutely not. But let's just assume a man approaches you, you're out somewhere. It could be you just might be out having dinner somewhere. You might be out in a public area, at a museum, at an art show, at a just any social event. Definitely not at the club, okay? But wherever you are, you meet somebody, they approach you, and they have a conversation with you, and then eventually they ask for your number. Let's say you haven't dated in a while, or let's say you just got out of a bad relationship and now you're really eager, you want to meet somebody else. That doesn't mean because you find this person attractive that doesn't mean that you just jump all in. Then the man, he starts texting you. He doesn't even start calling you. He just starts texting you. And then eventually, he invites you over to, I'm a great cook. I really want to show you how I can cook. Then you just go over to his home, and then you never even go on a date. He just continues to cook, and he's just trying to do things in a cheap way. But because you are so gung-ho about wanting a relationship, wanting to get to know someone, you don't even care that he's not treating you the way you deserve. Ladies, these situations can be avoided. When someone approaches you, you're going to make sure that they're showing an effort. But even outside of that, let's say that the person does show effort. They take you out on a date, and or a lunch date, or an evening date, and you go out to dinner. He says, I just thought you were so beautiful. I really enjoyed our conversation when we were out, when I met you at wherever, and I really want to get to know you, and then people make the mistake sometimes because the man has done just the one thing. Let's say you had a conversation on the phone before the date. Now he's taking you on a date, and now the lady's just like, oh, awesome. This is exactly what I wanted. I've been waiting for the right guy. He's so nice. He took me out on a date. Ladies, know your value, okay? You can take yourself to a restaurant. You've purchased food for your friends when you've gone out, or for someone's birthday, or like I mentioned before, my younger sister or my mom, sometimes they'll even purchase a meal for someone who seems to be homeless. Please, just because somebody's being nice and showing a nice gesture by taking you out to a meal, that does not mean that they're a perfect person, that they're amazing. That is the bare minimum, okay? So now it's your time to see on that date. Or let's say it's been after the date now, right? Now it's like, oh, he was just so nice to me. We had a great conversation. And then you're like, okay, I'm definitely going to go along with whatever he wants, in your mind, right? Absolutely not. You have to, first of all, try to find out what he's even looking for on the date. Especially if you met him somewhere out, you probably didn't have a chance to really get to that point. It's not like somebody who was online or something like that, where you would have had a conversation to find out what that person's looking for. You were out and about when you met. So now is your time on the date to find out what it is that he is looking for. And even if he says something that you want to hear, that doesn't mean he's telling the truth, but let's just see, right? You don't want to start giving all the information about yourself, what you're looking for, because oftentimes, whether it's a male or female, if you say exactly what you're looking for, especially as a woman, the man may then try to pretend like that's what he wants as well. So you want to ask some questions while you're on that date. He might say, yeah, I thought you were so beautiful. I wanted to just get to know you a little bit better. That is perfect. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not going to start grilling him, of course. He's being nice. He's taking you on a date. But you have to find out some information about him. You have to find out, if you weren't able to find the information out from the call, if you had a call first, or from being in person when you first met, you're going to want to find that out. You want to say, oh, okay, well, okay, that's nice. I'm happy you want to get to know me. I enjoyed our conversation as well when we were out, when we met. So what exactly are you, looking for? You don't have to make it to where it's so much pressure to where you're like, oh, well, so what are your intentions with me? No, that seems like you're trying to ask him if he wants to marry you, at that moment, right? So you say, well, yeah, it's cool. That would be nice to get to know you. Like, what exactly were you looking for? And then the man, he'll be able to tell you, right? I would say a lot of men are going to be upfront, right? They'll say, well, I thought you were really attractive, and I just wanted to see where things can go. You don't want to accept those type of answers. See where things can go. That's probably telling you that is not someone that you should continue to see. That means that the man, he thought you were beautiful, but he's not sure what he wants. He's not sure, regardless of if it's you or someone else, he's not sure what he wants with a woman, what he wants with a relationship. Or maybe he does know what he wants, but he knows he can't say it because it's not going to be something that lady would accept. He may want a friend with benefit situation. So if some man is saying, I want to see where things go, that is telling you he's not in pursuit of marriage, okay? So that is your cue not to try to convince him of what you want, not for you not to say like, oh, well, I'm looking for a relationship, or I'm looking to be married. No, please don't do that, because the man might then turn around because he thinks you're attractive. He might change now what he said. So if a man tells you, I'm just looking to see where things go, that is your cue. You enjoy your date with him. You enjoy your meal. You're nice to him. And then after that, you would not want to pursue anything with that person, because that person is going to string you along. That person is not sure, they're not sure what they're looking for at all. Then of course the man could also say, well, I'm actually looking for a relationship. Be careful with that as well. You may be so lonely, you may want a relationship so bad, you're like, oh, this is perfect, I want a relationship. The last guy, he was just playing games and he didn't know what he wanted, but this guy knows he wants a relationship. A relationship, that does not mean that the person even wants marriage, and of course you don't want to get married to somebody right away, but if a man is actually trying to find their wife, they'll say that, or they'll say, I thought you were attractive, I enjoyed your conversation, and I'll just be honest with you, I'm looking to settle down, I'm looking to find the right person for me. Obviously settle down doesn't always mean marriage, but let's just assume it does in this scenario. Or like, actually I'm looking to be married eventually, and then in that conversation, that doesn't mean you will cut that person off. You probably wouldn't ask at that moment like, oh, like, what's your timeline for marriage? After they said that, you would just put that in the back of your head. Okay, they said that they're trying to eventually get married. Okay, so maybe on the next date I can have a better conversation about and try to find out what the person's timeline is. But you have to be careful out there, ladies. I'm noticing that a lot of people, they put themselves in bad situation because they're thinking about the short-term goal, wanting affection, wanting a relationship, and then realizing that being so focused on a short-term goal, you lose out on what the actual long-term goal is, what the real goal is. The real goal is to eventually find your partner, whether you're a man or woman. So man, you want to find your wife. Lady, you want to find your husband. That's your goal. You want to meet the right people, and if the person's not for you, you want to end that relationship, and then you want to keep going until you find the right person for you, or take time, or pursue that at the right moment, because not every moment is meant for you to pursue for a relationship, right? There's other things that people have going on in their lives. So ladies, just keep those things in mind. Make sure you understand that the goal is marriage, right? The goal is not to be a fiance. The goal is not to have a boyfriend. The goal is to have a marriage. So keep those things in mind. If you start eliminating people when they are clearly showing you what they are or what they're not, you're going to put yourself in a better situation. If, let's say, that person says they want a relationship, you end up in a relationship with them, and then let's say you end up in a relationship for like 7 years, no proposal, nothing, no walking down the aisle. You, by getting into the relationship with someone who said they just wanted a relationship, you lost out on the man that you could have met a couple months later had you not pursued it with that other person. So keep those things in mind. Let me know what you think down below. Do you think this advice makes sense? Do you find that a lot of people in your circle are doing these things? They just really want a relationship. And this reminds me, there's people who I see sometimes they're just always in a relationship, back to back to back. They never take a time to heal. It could be a man or woman, just constantly. When one relationship ends, they're just trying to find someone else. That always tells me, and that should tell you, that that person is not okay with being by themselves, and that most of the relationships that they enter into are out of loneliness, desperation, or needing affection, needing something, and most likely the relationships that they're in aren't going to end well. So keep those things in mind. You always want to take time after a relationship ends, and also make sure you're in pursuit of God. Let me know what you think down below, and have an amazing day. Bye.